بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. So today's maxim is called قاعدة الاحترام, the maxim of appreciation or respect. Respect. So what does respect or appreciation means here? It is a reference to a specific thing, and that is the wealth. Respect. احترام مال المسلم وعمله. Respect and appreciation to the wealth of a believer and his service and his job, his work. Now, that means, since the wealth is respected and the services, then it has to be protected. His wealth, the wealth of a believer, and his job has to be protected against transgression or infringement or encroachment upon it. No one has the right to intrude upon it or encroach upon it or usurp it or damage it. An example of that, if a person does a work for you at your home, at your office, then his services are preserved and protected. Which means what? What does it mean? What does it entail?
You have to give him.
Exactly. You have to give him the money. You have to give him whatever it takes. Either whatever he asks for and you agreed upon, or if he didn't ask for a specific amount, whatever the price is in the market, whatever the average price is in the market, you have to pay it to him. Now, فَكُلُّ عَمَلٍ وَقَعَ مِنْ عَامِلٍ لِأَحَدٍ. Every services rendered to a person, to any person, because of the request of that person. Sometimes someone comes to your home and he volunteers. You didn't ask him. He volunteers. It's like when we were in one of the Muslim countries, Morocco. We were sitting and every 5 minutes one of the guys comes and he wants to brush our shoes without asking. And then he says, give me money. And then he leaves another 5 minutes, another one comes and he wants. So while you are sitting, 5 people, they come to...
Or the car.
Or they sometimes clean the windshield for you and then they ask. You are not asking them. But if you have asked him, بحيث يقع بأمره وتحصيلا لغرضه فلا بد من إداء عوضه لقاعدتي الاحترام. Then definitely you must render him the money because of this maxim, the maxim of respect. Respecting his services, respecting his work, his job. Now, what are the evidences for it? There are many hadiths. One of them is the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. موثقة أبي بصير, on the authority of Abu Basir, عن أبي جعفر, Imam al-Baqir, عن أبي جعفر, which is Imam al-Baqir عليه السلام, قال رسول الله, قال رسول الله sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this hadith, Sibabul mu'mini, Sibabul mu'mini fusuqun wa hurmatu malihi ka hurmati damihi. Bad-mouthing a believer is considered fusuq, impurity or disreligiosity. Fusuq. When you bad-mouth a mu'min, sibab, when you curse him, when you bad-mouth him. And, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, وَحُرْمَةُ مَالِهِ, the sanctity of his wealth is like the sanctity of his blood. Though they are not equal, the wealth is not equal to the blood. The blood is more important. The blood, the soul, the nafs, the ruh is more important than the wealth. But then why the Prophet says they are equal? It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor, of course. Why he uses this metaphor? He says, the sanctity of the wealth is like the sanctity of the soul. Why he says that? Assalamu alaikum.
To emphasize.
Exactly.
On the
Though they are really not equal. They are not equal. Which is more important? The soul or the money? Definitely the soul is much more important than the money. The money comes and goes. But the soul, if someone gets killed, you cannot resurrect him again. But the Prophet wants to emphasize that the wealth is so important. Don't take it lightly. The wealth of a believer, وَحُرْمَةُ مَالِهِ, the sanctity, the value of his wealth, whether it's a property, whether it is cash, whether it is other belongings, كَحُرْمَةِ, like the sanctity of his blood. So it has to be preserved and respected. So, Dr. Ali and Dr. Amid, we are speaking, Assalamu alaikum, about a new maxim, which is the maxim of respect. احترام, قاعدة الاحترام. قاعدة الاحترام. Respect for what? Respect for a specific thing. Respect of the wealth of the Muslim, the wealth of the Muslim, and his services, his money and his services, his work. It has to be respected. Meaning that no encroachment on his property, on his wealth, without his approval or acceptance, without his rida. We cannot tamper with his wealth without permission. And it means that if we damage it, if we take it away, then we have to restitute that. We have to give restitution. The second, respecting his job, his services. If he renders a service to you, okay, let's say he's a blacksmith, he's a layman, he's an electrician, he's a physician, whatever he does. He's a teacher, he spends certain hours teaching your children. Then definitely you have to render him, his money, his job as agreed upon. So, and the evidences, one of them is this one. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ on the authority of Abu Basir through Imam al-Baqir, قال رسول الله. The Prophet, it ends with the Prophet, حُرْمَةُ مَالِهِ. The sanctity of the wealth of a believer is like the sanctity of his, what, Dr. Amid?
life.
Of his life, of his blood. كَحُرْمَةِ دَمِهِ. Dr. Ali, not that the wealth is equal to the blood. Definitely it's not.
Or
Wealth is not equal to the life. Life is more important. But the Prophet tries to say, puts so much emphasis on the wealth too, that don't encroach upon it. Don't violate it. Okay, don't transgress against anybody's wealth, anybody's property. So this is one hadith. The second hadith to the Imam عليه الصلاة والسلام لا يحل مال امرئ مسلم إلا عن طيب نفسه. The Imam says, Imam al-Baqir عليه السلام لا يحل مال امرئ مسلم مال امرئ مسلم إلا عن طيب نفسه. No wealth is allowed for you to touch or to use. No property. Mal, it means a property. It could be cash, it could be state, it could be, any form. Unless he is completely okay with it. إلا عن طيب نفسه. طيب نفسه. Unless the person is 100% satisfied. What does that mean? 100% satisfied. Can you give me an example that a person is not happy 100% with someone using his money or his property or his car or his pen or his computer or his space or his clothing or whatever? He's not happy 100%. Can you give me an example? Which happens. It happens especially in religious circles. It happens and they take it for granted.
Like not cleaning up after they're done using the area?
No. Using your property without you accepting 100%. For instance, you are writing with your pen, huh? Someone sitting next to you, he takes the pen without permission. You didn't give him permission. Right. He takes the pen from you. Or he takes a paper from your book. He tears off a paper to use it without asking you. Or he puts you in the spot. You say yes, but the yes is not really because you are embarrassed. Or sometimes donations. Asking for oh, Dr. Ali, please, would you give $1,000? Of course, in front of 500 people you say yes. They take it from you. This is haya. This is why we have another maxim. The maxim says, Al-ma'khudhu haya'an kal-ma'khudhi ghasban. What is taken through embarrassing you, putting you in the spot, it's like they took it by force, ghasb. By force. They usurped it from you. They stole it from you. It's equal to that. Because you are not happy. They put you in the spot. And of course you say, yeah, I give.
So when a situation where you ask for a job, but the person doesn't complete it.
No, that's different.
That's different then.
We are
It's not
speaking,
like
no.
in that sense.
When he renders the service and you are satisfied with his service, he did it completely as you asked him to do, then you have to give him the money. But if he didn't do it, it's incomplete.
Yeah.
He came to fix the air conditioning, he really didn't fix it. It still makes noises, still does not give, cool, air. So he didn't fix it. Or you took your car to the mechanics, he didn't do a good job. Still the car is not functioning well. That is different. But if he renders the service completely, then you have to pay him the money that he asks for. He gave you an estimate. Or if he didn't give you an estimate. Someone in the masjid, I said to him, please, I want you to come to my house. I have a fridge. I want you to fix it for me. He didn't say it's a free. Sometimes we know it's a pro bono, okay? He doesn't do pro bono because he has a family and he has to pay for his bills. So I have to pay him, if we did not agree in the beginning, I have to pay him the market price. You know, this happens where a lot, when you don't agree, and then they have disagreement at the end. Where is it? A lot it happens. With the taxi drivers. In Muslim countries, of course, when they don't have the meter. He tells you, okay, come in, we would not fight. No, we will. Once you reach there, he asks 10 times the price.
Yeah.
So what do you do in this case? Do you give him the 10 times? You give him the market price. If you know the market price, the average price, you give him that one. So two things are important. His wealth and قاعدة الاحترام applies to the wealth and the services, both. Ihtiram, respect for two things. For wealth and services. So if he renders a service, you have to pay him what he deserves because his services are respected. You know. But sometimes in some Islamic circles, they don't. Someone does a service, they don't pay him. They don't pay him. It happens in Muslim countries. It happens sometimes in an Islamic center, in a mosque, in a place of worship. Someone does a work, they don't pay him.
Say, does it go the other way around? So the example of the taxi driver, and he, let's say, expected to pay $10, but then he says $30. So does that mean he's not respecting your wealth, or can this be towards that person?
Yeah, he's not respecting your
Right,
wealth.
so-
Of course.
Okay.
He's not respecting your wealth. He wants to get, he is exploiting you.
Right. So, okay.
So the wealth has to be respected. Whether you pay, whether you give, or whether you take. You should not give more than what the person. Yeah, sometimes I'd love to help, that is different. I give him more, I give him extra, and I'm happy. But he should not intimidate me or try to blackmail me or cheat or, you know.
Wealth can mean anything: property, money,
Anything,
knowledge.
anything. Mal is a very general term. It applies to everything. It applies to material things. It could be furniture, could be gold, silver, cash money, okay? Or property, or services. Services, expertise. You are a doctor, you are a professor, okay? You are a taxi driver, you are a blacksmith, you are layman, handyman, whatever. You are handyman and you render your services. They have to pay you for that.
Right.
You are a lawyer. You worked on this case.
So ideas too.
Ideas, of course. Sometimes counseling. Sometimes you do counseling, marriage counseling, therapy, you know, marriage therapy, family counseling, whatever counseling. So this is services. It has a value. It has to be respected. But unfortunately, in Muslim societies, they don't respect, especially services. They take it for granted. I know in some cases, someone goes and gives lectures for 10 days. At the end, Maulana, thank you so much. Your lectures were wonderful, alhamdulillah. The only money they give him, pakat, is thank you so much, Maulana. With thank you, he cannot bring food for his children, you know. Islam says everything has a price. Sometimes you can't afford, no problem. But if someone does a service to you, then it has to be appreciated. إن هذا كان لكم جزاء وكان سعيكم مشكورا. Sa'i, any endeavor, has to be appreciated and rewarded. It has to be rewarded. So, this is one of the most important maxims in our faith. Respecting the wealth and respecting the services of the people. It has to be respected. It has to be paid on time. It has someone who works at your handyman, he fixed something in your hand. Give him the money now. Don't delay it. Someone delivered a service, delivered goods, pay him. Even when it comes to bills, when do we pay the bill? You receive the bill, the electricity bill today. The gas, the water, the whatever.
Before the due
They give you 3 weeks, but when do you have to send it?
before the due date.
as soon as possible. As soon as, because the service has been provided already. Sometimes it's like the rent. You pay the rent before you use the house, yes? You pay at the beginning of the month, not at the end of the month. But sometimes it's a bill. It means that you consumed this water, this electricity, this gas, this whatever. So it's already being consumed. So whenever the bill comes, you have to pay it. Though they have given you 3 weeks, but these are 3 weeks in case you are out of town, you didn't get the bill, but you have to pay it as soon as you receive it. Don't delay it. If you have money in your bank account, pay it. I know some people, they say, no, I leave it to the last minute. No, that's not right, because the service has been rendered to you already. You used it. Pay it. These are the manners, akhlaq of Islam. So لا يحل مال امرئ مسلم إلا عن طيب نفسه. You have no right to take money or anything else from a believer. Now, what does Muslim mean? Muslim means the one who does shahadatain, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna, or any person. When the Imam said this, did he mean only the Muslims who believe in Islam, or any human being? Any human being. He didn't mean only those who said shahadatain. So why he said Muslim? Because most of the people in the community are Muslims. للتغليب. This is in Arabic, in the literature, they say للتغليب. للتغليب. Sometimes I'm sitting in a place, I say, oh man, but there are women also. But I say, oh man. Doesn't mean that only for the men. No, there are women, but this is taghlib, because the majority are men, so we say, oh man. So Muslim, it means any human being. It could be a non-Muslim, someone who does not believe in God, but his wealth is respected, his wealth is respected, his life is respected. عن طيب نفسه. Unless you can use his wealth when he is completely happy and satisfied. So you cannot blackmail him. You cannot even threaten him. You cannot rush him, because sometimes at the time of payments, you rush people, they pay. Otherwise, if they have some time to think, they would not pay. They would not buy. They would not buy this product. This is why sometimes in the commercials on television, they say, if you call now, you get this discount. Have you seen? If you pick up the phone now and you call now, you get 25% discount. Why? They want to rush you to buy this product. Because you saw it, you saw the commercial, it looks very nice, tempting. So if you get called tomorrow, you will change your mind. They want you to buy the product right now, so they give you more incentives. Have you seen that? If you call now, do you remember, Dr. Omid? If you call now, you get 25%. Not because they need the money. No, they don't need the money. It's not urgent. But they want you don't change your mind. Because tomorrow you will change your mind. Exactly like the donations we do in the masjid. If Shahidi does not collect them the same day, khalas. It remains on paper. He calls later on, they change their mind. Yes.
Sorry, so let's say the person is now 100% satisfied. Yani, are we talking now haram or sins? Or
No, Dr. Ali.
Yani,
Some people are very difficult. Nothing would satisfy them. No product, no services, no.
Right.
They want to bargain. Some people have been programmed in a way that they are not satisfied with anything.
Right.
They'd like to get discount. I know some people like that. They are not easy. In everything, even if he purchased something for $1, if he can make it 50 cents, he will make it 50 cents.
Yeah.
He's not satisfied. Okay, he keeps calling this company, that company, the credit card company. He puts a stop on this. He's not a normal. This is not a normal person.
Right.
But if someone is normal, no, he's okay, he's normal, and you do a service to him, he's not happy. You did not do a good job, great job.
Right.
Okay, you did not really fix his car. He left the mechanic shop, there are some noises still. The car is still shaking. It's not in a good condition. Then his concern is legitimate. This person, his concern is normal, legitimate.
Right.
So in that case, he can contend.
Right.
Okay? He might not pay you or he asks for discount. But if he's satisfied with the work, he did the work. You asked him to do A, B, C,
Right.
and he did A, B, C for you,
Right.
then you have to pay him immediately without any delay, because his services, his time is respected. And this is what being violated, this maxim in every Muslim society, believe me. The maxim of respect, they change it into the maxim of no respect and no appreciation in our Muslim countries. Okay. So this one is important. إِلَّا عَنْ طِيبِ نَفْسِهِ. So if someone is embarrassed, you put me in a situation asking me for money or asking to use my phone, my car, my house, my whatever, my book. And I was embarrassed because people were watching me, so I gave you. This is not halal. They say it's not. This is ghasb. This is an act of usurpation, of ghasb. You took it without, though I gave you permission, but I was under pressure. I was intimidated. I was not happy with it when I gave you permission. I wasn't happy. You took my money, you took my belonging without my real permission. You put me in the spot. Al-ma'khudh haya'an, the maxim says, Al-ma'khudhu haya'an, what has been taken because you were shy, you were embarrassed. Kal-ma'khudh, it is like kal-ma'khudhi ghasban. It's like the one that has been taken by force, ghasb. Okay. Now, some scholars, they say wealth has 2 degrees of respect, 1 and 2. The first degree of respect for wealth, because of the wealth itself, the wealth has a value in the eyes of God. It should not be devalued. It should not be disrespected. Mal has a value. Mal is a grace, is ni'mah, is a bounty from God. So it shouldn't be devalued or disrespected or misused or encroached upon in any way. The mal. So this is one level of degree. Because of the wealth itself. Whoever owns the wealth, whether the wealth is in the bank, in the basement, in the pockets of the people, someone is believer, someone is non-believer, someone is rich, someone is poor, someone is black, white. The wealth itself has respect. It has to be protected. The second degree of respect goes because it is owned by a Muslim. So there is more emphasis. A believer. A Muslim here means a believer. So the wealth of the believer has a double importance and earns double respect. Because a believer is not wasting his wealth. We assume that he doesn't. He manages his wealth in a good way. He doesn't buy drugs, alcohol. He doesn't gamble with it. He doesn't buy unnecessary things with it. So his wealth becomes more important. His money becomes more important. Therefore, it has extra protection. It has extra protection because it's the wealth of a believer. It has a higher place, an extra protection. Now, last year, we studied a maxim 11 months ago, similar to this one, but it's not the same. Similar, but not the same. That maxim was قاعدة الإتلاف, the maxim of spoilage. It means you cannot spoil the wealth of a Muslim without his or her permission or rida or acceptance. You can't. So what is the difference between the maxim of spoilage that we studied last year, 11 months ago, February of 2018, with this one? What is the difference? There are differences. That one says you cannot spoil or damage itlaf. Itlaf means when you damage something. The wealth of any Muslim without his permission. You can't. And if you do so, if you damage his property, then you are liable for what? Restitution, dhaman. You have to pay him. Liability or whatever guarantee. What is the difference between that and this one? The difference, it means, the main difference is that the itlaf, that one, the previous maxim, speaks about the consequences. If you touch his money or his wealth, and if you damage it, then you have to pay restitution or penalty. That one. What does this one say? How this one is different from that one?
This one's warning you not to even do it.
Exactly. This one, in the first place, don't even touch it. That one is speaking about when you touched it already. But this one says don't even approach it. Don't touch it. Respect it. Don't touch the wealth of anyone without his or her permission. Okay? So the fuqaha, if I put this in a fiqhi terminology, they say the essence of this maxim, قاعدة الاحترام, is بيان الوظيفة قبل التصرف. To tell me what to do before I touch, before تصرف. Whereas the قاعدة الإتلاف, the maxim of spoilage, it gives me بيان الوظيفة. What should I do after تصرف? After I have already touched it. This is before, that one after. This is the difference between them. The second difference between these, because I'm going to ask you in the test, the difference between maxim of respect and maxim of spoilage. So the first difference is maxim of respect. It tells you what to do before the act. Maxim of spoilage, it tells you what to do after the act. The second difference is that maxim of respect, maxim of spoilage applies to what?
Well,
Exactly. It applies to the wealth only. Whereas the maxim of respect applies to what?
wealth and service.
Wealth and services both. Not just the money, but the services also, because it has value. Now, we have two mas'ala and we conclude inshallah. Two questions I ask you. If you ask a handyman to come to your office, to your house, to fix something for you, to do a work, specific work, but you did not negotiate the price, you did not ask him for an estimate, you didn't tell him how much you charge me an hour, you just said to him, there is the fridge, the heater, the cooler, I want you to work on it. And he did it for you. You did not speak about money. Neither you said anything, nor he said anything, or she. What is the ruling here? Could you say that, this is a pro bono, we didn't discuss money? So what is the outcome? Someone would say, well, he didn't ask for money. He just came, I told him do this for me and he did it.
You can always ask him afterwards what it would cost and then set the caps. Well, you would ask them, just like the taxi cab driver example, what would the cost be? And then if you feel like it's too much,
Mhm.
you look at fair market value.
Exactly. Definitely we have to pay him because of this maxim. He rendered the service and you respect his services. So there is money involved. Now, if there is no agreement upon the money, either he asked later on for something higher or you wanted to give him lower, then in that case we go to what? To the market price, to the fair price in the market. We would ask, we would Google, for instance, or ask other companies how much you charge for, let's say, 2 hours fixing something. They would tell you the range. They say $80, between $80 to $100. So it has to be paid because his work لا يذهب هدرا, does not go in vain. The services that he rendered to you, it cannot be rendered in vain. It has a value. The second, and this has, it happened. Sometimes they hire someone to go to Hajj. Okay? Someone died. His children, they hire someone, they pay him, they say, we're paying you $5,000, $6,000 to go for niyaba, al-hajjun niyabi, on behalf of our father or our mother. Now this guy, he applied for a passport and then the visa and then the airline tickets, but he fell sick one day before departure or something happened to him, an emergency. His wife broke her hip, for instance. She needs him. It happened because this is a real someone was going to Hajj and his wife broke her hip. So he had to stay. Not only he didn't do Hajj, he had to serve his wife. His Hajj was at home. Hajj Akbar. He was very fortunate. So in this case, he didn't go to Hajj and the season is gone. People went to Hajj and Hajj would not wait for him. Hajj is gone. So in this case, what would we give this person? Do we say, Jazakallah khaira, we are very sorry, or we pay him? And how much we pay him?
You pay him for the time and the effort to get his visa and passport and all that.
I think it doesn't satisfy what is requested, right? But it costs him money to start it. So I guess you have to pay him for result.
Definitely all the jurists, the fuqaha, they say you have to pay him. No one says there is no payment whatsoever because he didn't do the Hajj. But the disagreement is over what?
No?
The amount, how much you pay him. You just pay him for the passport, the visa, the ticket, if the ticket is non-refundable, or you pay him more than that, because now some of the agencies, they charge you $8,000, $9,000. If you change your mind, all the money is gone. I've seen this in the court. I've seen it. They come to me. Though the guy did not use the hotel, they say, but we purchased the package from the hotel. We said we have, let's say, 80 people coming. We already paid the hotel. Even if you don't make it, the hotel took the money, the transportation, even Arafat, Mina, the food. All these things were already paid. So they charge them the whole amount. They return no single penny. And I've seen this. I've seen these cases many times. Something happens to people and all the money is gone. One case went to the court and they wanted me a mediator. They said to him, out of $9,000, we returned $200. Only $200. And it went to the court because they said this is a package, this is a Hajj season. Even if you don't go, even if your bed remains empty in the hotel, the hotel charges for that bed. whether a person uses the bed or he doesn't use, because they sold the package already. They sell you the package, okay, in Mecca, in Medina, and Arafat for 80 people. Now, even if you send 60, they charge you for the 80. It's like some hotels here, weddings. You say, I have 250 guests. They say this is minimum. Even if 2 people come, we will charge you. Because we charge for a minimum, 250. If you want to use our facility, the minimum charge is for 250, even if 100 show up. So in that case, if really the agency has paid, let's say, 9,000 to the Hajj authority, then you have to pay that person the amount. Do you agree or not? Because that person that you hire him is going to pay from his own pocket in order for you to pay him.
I think must be something in between.
You mean if that person already paid the 9,000 and it is non-refundable, should he be paid these at least the minimum 9,000?
I would say halfway.
Halfway? So he would lose in
Because
this case.
He didn't deliver the results.
He didn't deliver the result, but he paid the 9,000
Right.
from his own pocket, and it is non-refundable. And his intention was to go, but an emergency happened. So according to this, the 9,000 is not respected. The 9,000 that went out of his pocket should not be respected.
I think inside this is when the job is done also. Not just doing the job is done and everybody's satisfied.
This is in the old days. In the old days, you take the money with you. I remember 50 years ago when my father took us for Hajj. So we arrive in Mecca, we go to this house. If they have vacancy, we tell him we need 5 nights. Either we give him deposit, or when you are leaving, you give him the money. Then in Medina, then you find a car from Medina to Mecca, you pay the driver. And then in Medina, you go and see a house. And then in Arafat, you rent a tent. And then in Mina. Nowadays, the Saudi government, they say, I have to see the whole money in my account 3 months before you leave your home. 3 months. They have to see the full amount. So you pay for the hotel, transportation, food, Mina, Arafat, everything 3 months before you leave your home. Otherwise, you don't get the visa.
And they make you stay 5 extra days.
Sometimes you don't want to stay, but they say this is part of the package. It's not like the past. Nowadays, it's not like the past. Nowadays, they take the whole amount firsthand. Even before you leave your home, your money is in their bank account. Go and look at the new contracts. You have to wire. So the Hamladar, the leader of the group, he doesn't take the money with him because he already wired the money. In the past, he had to give the money, part of it to you. Nowadays, he goes only with his credit card because he already wired $500,000 before he left. He wired it into the account there. So the money is gone. It's not refundable. I'm asking about something else. Plus the 9,000 that he paid, should we also pay him some more? Because he psychologically, he prepared himself, his wife, his family to go. Probably he took a break from his work. He purchased, let's say, special shoes. I don't know.
I guess whatever cost him to go there, that it has to be paid.
Yeah.
But more than that, that's where the question is. I mean, whether
I have a
he has
question.
to be.
But it-
One. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead,
No,
Dr.
I mean,
Ali.
it has probably nothing to do with this question, but is if you need to, this money is going towards, let's say, acceptance of Hajj on the behalf of the deceased. Does it count if you, let's say, you pay all this money and there was an intention?
No, it has to be, the Hajj has to be done.
Okay.
If he did not do the Hajj, even if he went to Hajj, let's say, he did part of it, he did Umrah al-Tamattu', he could not do Hajj al-Tamattu', someone else has to finish it. It would not be counted as a full Hajj for the deceased unless you do the full Hajj on his behalf.
And say, can we look at it, let's go back to the handyman situation. So let's say you needed to fix something, but then you pay him, let's say $500. He tells you it's gonna cost $500, you pay $500, but then he tells you, I was sick, so I couldn't make it. In that case, he still has to come back and do it after he gets better. But in this case, it's different, and it's probably, I'm sure the answer is different than this.
Yeah, but this one, in the case of the handyman, he has a chance. After recovery, the season has not ended. He has time after recovery, 3 days, 1 week to come and do. The Hajj season has a season. If it ends, ends.
But the following year.
They don't. The agency there, they don't. They say the money was paid for this year's hotel, transportation, food, tent.
Right.
You know, in this case that went to the court, the guy said, okay, I paid you the money, so take me next year. They said, no, there is no next year. The money you paid was for this year, and this year expired. He kept begging them, please, at least consider half of the money for next year. So next year I pay you half the price. They said, no, only $200. We give you back.
But the question is, so where's the respect for my money as a customer, as a client?
There is here a clash between two monies. The money of the client and the money of the company. There is a clash between them. Which one is more important?
So Hajj Nadeem is going to do Hajj for me, for example.
Mm.
So his service and the money he pays must be respected. This is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But where is the respect for my money?
But there are terms and conditions. And you knew about the terms and conditions. It's like when I purchase an airplane ticket and they tell me non-transferable, non-refundable. But I can't make it because of sickness or whatever. Or I come late to the airport. Okay? I lose the $500 because I know about it. Yes, my money is respected, but within terms and conditions. They tell you, we sell you this ticket provided that you fly. If you don't fly, your money is gone because the seat is going to be empty in the airplane. Your seat is empty.
So it just depends on the agreement that we have.
Exactly, terms and conditions.
Beforehand,
المؤمنون عند شروطهم. It's according to the terms and conditions of the contract. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.